Hey guys, so for this video, I'll be doing an update. I think my last few videos would have just been kind of updates. I haven't been really posting much. I can't even remember the last time I posted. I think it was like a small little haul. But these past few months, I've been kind of uh, just thinking a lot regarding my collection and the albums I have, and I also watched or saw some videos from other K-pop YouTubers that mostly just focus on collecting and unboxing, and a lot of them are downsizing their collections, especially those that have a really extensive or just collected a lot of groups, and it just got me thinking that I don't think I will be um, as upset or as affected by downsizing my collection a bit. And I just kind of gave it a few months to kind of think about it, and I haven't really bought a lot of K-pop albums the past 2 years. Well, obviously for many reasons. A lot of the groups I collect don't really release music anymore. Um, and some of them have just either disbanded, or they go on a long hiatus, and some of them just release very little, maybe once or every other year. So that's just a huge factor with why I just have decided not to well, not decided, but I just haven't really bought anything. And I'm not trying to get into new groups because one, I have a little bit of a hard time getting into newer groups. Not that I completely hate the idea of listening to another group, but I am just don't think I can have that much I want to say time and money just to invest into learning a whole group. I'm also in a completely different stage of my life where I don't have that much free time, and I focus on other things. Um, I've been listening to K-pop for a really long time, and obviously I grew up with it. I still listen to it, but I definitely the way that I interact with K-pop has changed drastically compared to 10 years ago. I used to listen to K-pop all the time. Um, and I that just has been uh, decreasing as the years went by, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It also just means that your musical taste changes, and that doesn't particularly mean that I dislike every single K-pop song that's out or being released right now. I just don't enjoy a lot of the new releases. I try to listen to some newer groups just to see what's out there, but I haven't been as impressed, or I haven't enjoyed it as much as I did before. And if I do like a song, I do add it to my playlist if I really enjoyed it. But for the most part, I haven't really started listening to newer groups, and by newer groups I mean groups that debuted um 3 years ago even. So I mostly just wait for groups or solo artists that I've listened to for a while now, and for the most part haven't been disappointed. A lot of my favorites are still quite active, which is why I kind of have this album right here, because I guess talk about a little bit about which groups I'm more than likely to purchase an album from if they release it physically. Um, Yeah, well, I'll just get into that since I picked this album, because obviously it's like want, which is kind of funny. It is the want the hip-hop albums that I want to get. And obviously, this is Timmy, so Shiny is kind of like in on a break right now, since um, the members went to the military, and then obviously when Temin hits a certain age, he has to go. So there's gonna be another short hiatus, as a like a full unit. Um, so that's that just means it's gonna be less releases, from them as a group. But for the most part, I really enjoy Keys and Temin's solo music, so I'll more than likely be getting those albums. Um, so Shiny's still on my radar. Um, Girls' Generation, um, obviously they're on a hiatus, or um, until they release something else, which is not going to be as often as before, because all of them kind of have their own thing going on. But that just means that I'll also support the solo projects. And the most active member musically is Taeyeon, and she is my favorite member. So I'm pretty lucky with that, and she is Uh, I think by now, kind of like my ultimate bias, along with Jessica, and I guess I've always it's always been really neck and neck with Taeyeon and Jessica, but Jessica doesn't really promote that much anymore for her solo music, and I've always gravitated towards Taeyeon's music more than Jessica's. So I'm pretty happy that at least she has a solid solo career. So obviously Taeyeon is one of the ones that I will just be following, because her musical style resonates with me. So, and I just love her. So I will kind of always support, along with Girls' Generation as a group. And aside from Shiny and Girls' Generation, I really don't see myself buying from um, anyone else. So I really limited to just those two groups, and extending it to kind of like solo projects, and maybe subunits, or just special little projects. Super M is kind of iffy for me because I don't particularly really enjoy um, their music that much, at least the main singles. So I just have to listen to the album that's gonna come out soon. So that one is kind of just it just depends on the music. Uh, and yes, and oh yeah, possibly I might continue G Friend, uh, Red Velvet, um, and yeah, I think that's about it. Because even though um, uh, one of my one of my ultimates is Donbangshinki. I don't they don't really promote much in Korea. And they focus primarily in Japan, and I don't want to just spend a ridiculous amount of money for a Japanese album. So I'll just support it through streaming, or wherever I can stream it. I do have subscriptions, so it's not like I will completely stop listening and supporting a lot of the groups that I have been listening to for a really long time. But I just wanted to think about what I do want to keep and what I just want to sell. So that's another part of this video. I'll make a video kind of just hinting more on what I'm going to sell. It is a lot of albums, so it's like almost complete collections of groups. So if you are interested, keep an eye out for that. Um, I will. Since there's so many albums, I don't know how I'm gonna make a video. Because I have an extensive collection. I think more than 20 groups. I'm thinking. Um, so that oh yeah, but there are some actually. I won't be selling all my all the other groups. I will keep some. So there are some exceptions, but there are some groups that I don't want to keep anymore. Just because I also want to invest my money elsewhere, and I did spend a lot of money on my K-pop albums, and obviously, I'm glad that I was able to support the groups while they were active. Because if there was lack of support, there would be less musical releases and whatnot. So, I am glad that I was able to support them. But when I look back, I wish I wasn't as I wish I guess did not buy as many albums as I did, just because I didn't really get to save up money. And I'm just saying this as like a something to share, I guess, with people who are starting to collect K-pop albums. You don't need to collect um, so many things, because eventually, I don't know, it just catches up, and it piles up, and then you're like, I'm missing this, I'm missing that, and I'm sure that um, I can attest to K most K-pop collectors. I think a stage or some in uh on a certain point you kind of hit that mark where you're like is it really worth buying so many multiple versions, collecting all these things? Um I don't know. That's just kind of what I'm experiencing now. Um, so it's not like I completely regret buying so many albums, but I wish I was a little bit more selective to what I bought, because I was a fan of a lot of groups, and I tried to support as much as I could, and it really did not let me save a lot of money, because I would just constantly just buy and buy and buy. And obviously, no one forced me to buy anything, but it just becomes mentally draining to some point. And when I was looking at buying some things now that are non K-pop related, I was like, well, I could have really used the money, used some money for this if I didn't spend so much money on K-pop. Uh, So, um, I think after this just whole situation, even with um, the current stage of the world right now, it just um, really hit me to realize what I need to focus on. So I will keep supporting a lot of groups that I could still release music, and are still active, that I just casually listen to by streaming. So um, I am a subscribed to Spotify and YouTube Red, so I get access to YouTube Music. So I usually um, make playlists to um, keep up with the songs that I enjoy throughout the year. So um, that's kind of how I'm changing now. So, again, just to touch on everything, if you still um, um, watching, I will be selling a good portion of my K-pop albums, um, because I also need space in my room, and I just don't see the point of having so many albums. It's just completely ridiculous. And yeah, I will start making videos, and hopefully I'll make like a Google sheet with albums that I will be selling. But it will take time. So if you are interested in getting some older K-pop albums, or completing certain collections, so keep an eye on that. I'm not gonna sell them for um, really expensive price. They're gonna be fairly priced. Even some of them are pretty low, just because I really just want to get rid um, of the albums and give them to a new home that will appreciate them a lot more. So uh, yeah, so I will be posting. That will be kind of the videos I'll be posting in this channel, um, and hopefully everyone's doing well. I know times are a little bit hard right now, but everyone um, has to stay safe and follow the guidelines, so um, we can get through this year. All right, guys, bye.